The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
Topping news today was decision day for local government candidates in Grand Bahama and in the Family Islands. Thousands of voters were expected to vote in the 3 local government districts on Grand Bahama. Elections in the 4 constituencies in the Freeport district were projected to be the most competitive. Our news team took to the streets early this morning to get reaction to the democratic process.
Watch today, 8 candidates were vying for 3 spots on the Freeport City Council. The Marcos City candidates on today's ballot were incumbents Kevin Ferguson, Shervita Campbell, and Solomon Morley. Newcomers Omise Lockhart-Lightbourne, Harold Adderley, Damian Fox, Keitron Meadows, and Barrington Mackey. 5,673 people were eligible to vote in the Marcos City constituency. There were 15 polling stations, and when our news team visited those centers during the morning hours, voter turnout was low. Returning Officer Ivan Butler says, although the start was slow, the process was smooth.
I must say Parliamentary did an excellent job of training the staff for this process.
Despite the apparent voter apathy in the local government elections, some voters say today's process was significant.
I see it as my constitutional duty. We are our forefathers. They fought for this right, so I'm just taking advantage.
The only way you're going to make a difference if you are actively involved in the process. And I would have no reason to complain if I wasn't actively involved in the process.
It takes care of the local affairs. Not everything should be Nassau-centric. And that I think that our needs, our local needs, will be addressed in short order.
We are not doing for ourselves, we're doing for our children in the near future.
If you do not cast your vote, you have nothing to say. You're not recognized. But once you've cast your vote, you've got that purple thumb, you can speak up.
They say they would like the incoming councillors to address various issues.
I'd like to see more of the neighborhood watches, because we got a very high crime problem, so I'd like to see more of that. And keeping the areas clean up also.
I would like to see the advent of more scholarships for persons in the community. I would like to see the advent of more community-based events for families.
I would like to see more of the dilapidated cars come out of the area, because like now it's so hot, we have a lot of mosquitoes and flies, so I want them to do a little bit more cleanup around the area. That would be a good thing to do for local government.
Marcos City definitely needs some bus stops, some new routes, and that is, to me, that's one of the major things, and I know the 2 candidates whom I'm going to support can bring the bacon home.
The road, especially the road I'm living on, it need to be paved. And you run through there, your car drop in the hole.
Minna Outen Winters believe many voters in the Bahamas do not realize the power they hold.
Whether it's a local government election or it's a general election, we the people do not express ourselves sufficiently. We allow our candidates and our members to just have a field day, and we are not the servants. The ones whom we vote for are the servants, but in this country it's reversed, you see. But we have to speak up. We the people have to speak up. That is what we have to do, and once we do that, you will see a change.
Now, when the ballots are counted, only 3 of the 8 candidates will represent the Marcos City constituency. I'm Sabrina Brown. Joan Davis Roll picks up our election coverage.
Well, Sabrina, here in the Pine Ridge constituency, polling division number 2, the process got off to a very slow start, but officials say they started promptly at 8 a.m. The local government election be taking our news team to various polling divisions in the Pine Ridge, Central Grand Bahama and East Grand Bahama constituencies. From the Foster Pastina Center, Hugh Campbell Primary, St. Paul's Methodist College, Tabernacle Baptist Academy, the Church of God on Coral Road, there was an all too familiar scene as voters began trickling in one by one to cast their ballots. Returning officer in Pine Ridge, Dr. Cecil Thompson.
In the Pine Ridge constituency, everything is going very well in the 13 polling centers, and presiding officers and their staff, and with a lot of assistance from the members of the Royal Bahamas Police Force, they're just waiting for voters to turn out.
Among the 5,000 voters eligible to vote was husband and wife Olive and Elgin Raming. How come you came so early?
We try to beat the rush, because Bahamians wait for the last minute, and we always be early. Even when we go to church, we try to be early to be the first set in there, So we just pray that everything goes well today.
All right, and local government, how important would you say it is, especially to communities like ours?
It is important because, mostly the road, especially when we up in Hudson there, I don't live there, but my daughter there. Oh, that's terrible. And if somebody get in there or do something in that area for them.
Well, I'd like to see some more progress on the streets and certain areas of Freeport. And hopefully, whoever go back in, they could have deep concern.
For voter Derek Isaacs, his vote, he says, was a vote for change. He also weighed in on the low voter turnout.
Well, I feel good about it. I just hope they can do something more, and put some teeth into what they do, because, sometimes you really can't feel them, and you really want to feel them because there's a lot of projects like they need to do,
What do you like to see happen? We have a low voter turnout here today. What do you think contributed to that?
People just disenfranchised, disenchanted. They can't, if you got the Port Authority, you got central government, and here you got local government, but you need to feel what they're going to do. If they're going to do something, like some projects, like just say street lighting in certain areas. You want to feel them. You don't have to go to the Port Authority every time. Who's the boss?
At some locations, there were more candidates than voters. Candidates who, despite the low voter turnout, were excited about the process and optimistic about a win. Incumbents Melvina Aubrey and Jennifer Ellis were joined by newcomers Eris Hutchinson and Clifton Francis. It's election day for local government. How do you feel?
I'm excited and hopeful.
Now, this is not your first time around, so obviously you want to complete the work that you started. Tell me a bit about that.
This is my fourth time, Joan, and I would like to complete, as I am liaison counselor for the Susan J. Community Center and the Wellington Ferguson Community Center. So I've started some programs, and I have new programs that I would like to complete.
I feel confident, and I'm looking forward to a victory.
It's going okay so far. It's a slow turnout so far. Some people came to vote before they went to work. They want to see me in. So Pine Ridge gave me their word. They're going to put me in, and I'm very confident that I'm going to come out victorious.
Well, this morning, you always wake up with a prayer because you always let God bless you and guide you in whatever you do. And afterwards, after we prayed, we carried the poll workers, and now we are on the road. At the end of the day, I feel that I'm going to be victorious, myself and my team member, Miss Aubrey. And, I feel that, by us walking around and we meeting the people and speaking with them, they said to us that they are going to give us their support.
While low voter turnout was a concern in the Pine Ridge constituency for the first half of the morning on local government election day, we travel now to West Grand Bahama. Now Megan Shepard for an overview of the process there. Megan?
In West Grand Bahama, the morning got off to a slow start, but for those residents who did turn out early, they say they're excited for a new local government board that is ready to hit the ground running.
Once the election is over, I like to see the committee of the local government come together and plan lots of good stuff for West End. You need the road to be kept much better, lights, more involvement in the community. And this is what we need.
The voting process was very slow, and the two representatives I choose to vote for, I believe they could upgrade my community, which is Pinedale, to refurbish the park, what was given for the children, and to make sure all the abandoned buildings and broken homes are fixed and well kept, so we can have a beautiful community.
Right up and out, it's moving a little slow, but it's surely. But after 12:01, I believe, we'll have more crowd coming. But it's moving all along all right. And like like she say, we want to see the park fixed for the boys and things so they have somewhere to play their little basketball because they had to buy their own little thing to play the basketball. We really need the park. We really need Pinedale to fix.
Hundreds of registered voters in the West Grand Bahama District will be voting at 17 polling divisions. 32 candidates are on the ballot. Candidates will be elected to head 4 townships, and 9 members from those townships will make up the West Grand Bahama Council. Presiding officer for Polling Division 10B, Gia Walker, says it is a trend for voters to turn out late, but during the early hours, the process went without a hitch.
It's been a very slow morning, up until noon. We've had less than 50 voters. Based on previous experience, it usually picks up closer to closing time.
Polling divisions in West Grand Bahama include the West End Primary School, Martintown Primary, 8 Mile Rock High School, and Bartlett Hill Primary. While statistics have shown low numbers for voter turnout in local government elections, these residents say they want to make their voices heard.
I've always been a supporter of the local government. I haven't missed a voting process since it started. And I would encourage all the locals to come out, cast their ballot, and so we can further develop our community.
Local government elections is always something that you want to be a part of, you know, being so intimate with the community, and especially when it goes to an election, it goes to show that you have a number of persons in the community that is very interested in progressing and moving the community forward, which is always a good thing.
And now that the votes have been cast and the 2014 local government elections are in the history books, everyone will wait in anticipation of the results. Now, just 2 polling divisions in the East Grand Bahama District holding elections today. Sweetings Key, the small community off the mainland, has 99 registered voters, 7 candidates nominated to fill 5 positions in that area. The candidates in the Sweetings Key election are Eleanor Tate, Wilson Bevins, Floyd Feaster, Calvin Mitchell, James Pyfrom, Alexander Russell, and Shervin Tate. A total of 189 voters were eligible to vote in polling division 6, that's the Pelican Point McLeanstown area. Voters will elect 3 of the 4 candidates. The candidates offering during today's election: Wilton Thomas, Daniel Bain, Franklin Pinder, and Joseph Thomas. The polls opened at 8 a.m. and closed at 6 p.m. Stay with us. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, continues right after this.
Bringing news that matters to you. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition.
Welcome back. Since its relaunch in 2010, more than 3,000 persons have passed through the Bahama Host program. 250 graduates recently joined the group dedicated to making the country's #1 industry top-notch around the world. students graduating from the Bahama Host program on Grand Bahama Thursday evening. The program prepares persons to better serve in the tourism industry across the country. On island for the ceremony, Director General of Tourism Joy Jibrilu, who says she is pleased to see so many persons dedicated to making a difference in the tourism industry. She says with so many graduates, this should translate to an increase in visitor satisfaction and pride in our #1 industry.
The good news is the tourism sector on Grand Bahama is currently experiencing a revitalization with the reopening of closed hotel rooms, new airlift services, product improvement initiatives, and new marketing and promotional strategies. Air arrivals to Grand Bahama has seen a significant increase, which is directly related to hotel room occupancy levels. The Minister of Tourism is placing particular emphasis on Grand Bahama to get this island back on its feet again.
Now, Jibrilu also noting the importance of creating a brand for the island of Grand Bahama.
Grand Bahama must earn the distinction of being a unique destination compared to the rest of the world with whom we are competing. To do this, Bahama Host must deliver a brand promise by creating a unique personal experience at each service encounter. Each individual offering a service to any customer must be competent in every aspect of that service and committed to service excellence.
Guest speaker and chairman of the Grand Bahama Island Tourism Board, Russell Miller, noting that the ceremony is a celebration of excellence and commitment to being tourism professionals of the highest caliber. He added that the Bahamas is competing with hundreds of countries around the world who are often offering services at a lower price. He notes ways in which the Bahamas can set itself apart.
We need to differentiate ourselves in 3 ways: in the quality of our tourism product, the variety of our offerings, and the caliber and passion of the customer service experience, and the passion with which it is executed and delivered. Today we celebrate your commitment and desire to do that.
Tourism General Manager Betty Bethel congratulating the graduates and sending a charge as they build the tourism industry here on the island.
You must always maintain high standards, high quality, professionalism, and most importantly, consistency. Once you get it right, you have to continue doing it again and again and again. So once again, congratulations, well done, and we are counting on you.
It has become a signature event for the Ministry of Tourism. During the summer months, the popular Gumbe Summer Festival is back and is designed to heighten the visitor experience, increase visitor spending, and drive economic growth. The festival, into its 40th year, will be held every Thursday, July 3rd through the 31st at Taino Beach from 6 p.m. to midnight. Grand Bahamians, residents, and visitors will enjoy conch demonstrations, coconut demonstrations, nature walks, bush tea tasting, and the ministry's signature people-to-people experience. The celebration of authentic Bahamian music, dance, cuisine, and craft will feature the best in Bahamian entertainment. Stay with us. Ricardo Lightborn comes your way next with sports.
Everybody, it's sports time. I'm Ricardo Lightborn. The Bahamas Baseball Federation Nationals came to a close on Sunday. The finals of the 16-18 high school division. It featured Freedom Farm and Grand Bahama Amateur Baseball. Let's take you to the lines. The Grand Bahama Amateur Baseball and Freedom Farm on the diamond in the 16-18 high school division. Let's go to the third, and a pass ball yields a run. Freedom Farm, A.N. Seymour simply having control problems and walked the batter. That brought up Grand Bahama Amateur Marvin Knowles. The second baseman jumped on the fastball, it got by the shortstop. Grand Bahama Amateur will score 2 runs and now take a 7-2 lead. Freedom Farm went to work in the fourth. Dwight Ramming with the good stick. Freedom Farm is running on the play. 2 runs will score. It's now 7-4. In the fifth, Grand Bahama starter Sabian Mackey struck out 7 batters. This was 1. In the 6th inning, Grand Bahama Amateur defense rose to the occasion. Rico Russell grounds out to the first baseman for the final out of the game. Grand Bahama Amateur won it 7-4. Sabian Mackey, the MVP, working 5 innings and an ERA of 1.00. And also in elated, Coach Patrick Knowles.
They kept their poise, going down 2 runs in the first inning, and they just kept it. They had a tough mindset to continue to attack. And we got some breaks in the, I think, the 3rd inning, and just capitalized and put some distance between us and them. And Sibrion was just fantastic. If the story be told, Sibrion and Rashad got together yesterday and said, who has this game, which was the game we played Freedom Farm yesterday, and who has today's game? And they both decided. They said, Coach, this is how we want to do it. This is how it went. And they went out there and performed great on the mound and fantastic in terms of leadership and leading the guys to the both victories.
The 13-15 junior finals featured Junior Baseball League of Nassau and Freedom Farm. This was a ball game. JBLN with the lead in the game. This base hit and the score now 3-1 in the first. Freedom Farm came storming right back. Dominique Colley with the RBI base hit. It's now a 5-3 game. Let's go to the bottom of the 6th, and it is tied up at 6. Bases loaded. The fielder's choice to the shortstop. The throw to home plate. The umpire calls the runner safe. JBLN wins this one 7-6, and manager Ken Adley said, mission accomplished.
We knew we were the better team.
And so we knew that once we got an opportunity, we was going to come from behind.
But those opportunities were sparing, though. At one point, you had some problems, some mental lapses from your kids, but they were able to stay together and make some things happen for you.
Yeah, they began to make things happen because they told me, they said, Coach, we got this.
Well, Freedom Farm also defeated Grand Bahama Little League for the coach pitch gold. The 9-10 minor division, Freedom Farm defeating Grand Bahama Little League 7-6 for that gold medal. Freedom Farm captured the gold in the 11-12 major finals. They defeated Junior Baseball League of Nassau 12-8. In the 25 and under division, New Providence Amateur Baseball defeated Freedom Farm 4-3. We'll give you more on the tournament tomorrow, but that's a look at your sports tonight.